My 25 male, fiancé, 25 female, wants to invite our ex-high school teacher to our wedding. We were on in the same history class in grade 9. The teacher paired us up for a project. I vividly remember this project. We had to write an essay on a battle of the French-Indian War. We chose Battle of Fort Necessity. Anyway, we became close friends and later a couple, and parents because of this project. I'm reluctant to invite him because, well, we got 0% for plagiarism. Plus, frankly, the teacher probably doesn't remember us. My fiancé on the other hand thinks it is impossible not to invite him to the wedding because without him we wouldn't have met. Maybe send him a letter after the wedding with a photo? Thank your teacher for introducing you to, remind him of your story and sign it. At least we didn't plagiarize our vows. Are you inviting other teachers from the high school? If not, then it might be a little awkward for the teacher to just show up, assuming you're giving him a +1, and not know anyone else. What table are you going to assign him to? Honestly, I would just send him a wedding announcement card, like a thank you for teaching us back in Gr.9. You've probably forgotten us but we're actually getting married, hope you're doing well, etc. If you're going to have a live stream of your wedding, sending him an invitation to that might be good. Send the teacher a postcard with your HA photo and your wedding photo and a little note. You can still acknowledge him without having him come to the wedding. An invitation to a wedding is not an obligation. This teacher can, and probably will, refuse. But probably will still feel some serendipity at how he was part of your lives and the invitation will highlight that to him. Don't see why not invite him. Unless you think he's a total asshole and will make a fool of himself at your wedding should he accept. Not a hill to die on, to be honest. I feel like this is just a little weird. It was a random teacher close to a decade ago who you say won't remember you. All he did was pair you guys up for a project. He's gonna be confused and probably be like, nope, I'm good. If I was a teacher and some random student from 10 years ago invited me because I sent 2 of my students to detention and they dated later in life, I'd be a little weirded out and uncomfortable with going lol. Invite the teacher. It's not his fault you plagiarized. And for your fiancé it creates a part of a magical moment at the wedding. Teachers are underappreciated. It'll be nice. Are you mad that you cheated on the assignment and failed or that you think he won't remember you? These are 2 unrelated problems. I just found out my husband might have another wife. So we've been married about a year and 3 months. I am now 4 months pregnant with my first child. Today someone sends me a message on Facebook and says that she is sorry to tell me, but my husband is the most disgusting liar she's ever laid eyes on, and that he has another wife. Apparently, she's about to give birth soon. They apparently did a background check on him to find out who I was so that they could contact me. That's the only thing that seems odd because my Facebook is locked and I have the security way up. And #X200B. I asked for more information, and the timing actually lines up with a trip he went on last year. He was 4 days late coming home, and when he made it back, he looked like shit and I could tell he had been crazy drunk. His wedding ring was missing and what looked like he had some bite marks on his shoulders and back, and possibly a hickey. I asked him what the fuck and he lied and said something about getting hit by a tree branch. I told him he needed to be honest with me, and he stuck to his story. But about a month later, I cussed him out for some reason and I told him he needs to stop acting like I'm dumb, and brought up his markings. He told me he had a lot to drink in a club and anything could have happened. So I chalked it up to him being an alcoholic and getting blackout drunk, which is 100% believable. And #X200B. If what this stranger said is true, what do I even do now? She begged me not to tell him that she talked to me about anything because if he found out, the other woman's life could be in danger. I'm a state away, so I couldn't easily meet up with them. Seriously, what do I even do? I'm already scared to have this baby, and now I'm even more scared. And #X200B. Thanks for reading. And #X200B. Edit. So that mystery person got me in touch with the other girl, and everything checks out. She showed me proof, and told me about many occasions when he was over there, and those match with the times he had to work overtime or something like that. I'm a dumbass and knew deep down that this was all too good to be true. It's not too late for me to get an abortion. I'm just gonna disappear without saying anything, and cut all contact. Hire a lawyer or a private investigator, work up an exit plan. Depending on your state, there may be women's shelters available to help you sort out the details. He was 4 days late coming home. He lost she wedding ring and he had a hickey and bite marks? And you didn't immediately dump his ass? Did you lose your mind? You went on to have a kid with him after that stunt? I'm sad for you. Keep talking to her to get as much information as you can. Make her give you facts about him, ask about the marks on his body. Then talk to him and leave him. I would head straight to the lawyer to get my ducks in a row. Get my finances in order. Get my accounts on point. Get ready. Is this the same person who gave you herpes? Or the one who kicked you out? You need to have higher standards, particularly if you're bringing a child into this mess. So, I checked your post history. You've just found out you have an STD, likely during your pregnancy screening, and you still are questioning if this is true or not. Girl, if you don't know without a doubt that your husband is a cheater, you ain't smart enough to be raising this kid. Because kids are actually sneaky, let alone what this MF has been pulling. So, now you know he is cheater, alcoholic, liar and gets blackout drunk. So what are you waiting for? Location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag. Why are you all ripping her a new one? She didn't do anything to deserve what happened. She fucked up loving a prick, but don't wag your finger at her. Today I finally realized, we aren't a team. My relationship has had its ups and downs. We've been together going on 2 years. I am 31 female, he's 36 male. I am 15 weeks along with our first child, it was unplanned. I have always been the breadwinner in our relationship. We split bills 50-50, and then I cover the extra stuff, majority of groceries, etc., and I regularly do cover more of the bills and he pays me back eventually. We bought our home earlier this year, we have pets, etc. I am self-employed, but for the past 3 months, work has significantly slowed down, to where I'm barely making ends meet. So I was like, hey look, I'm really struggling here, and am heavily considering switching careers once baby is born. But in the meantime, things are tight on my end, so you may need to pitch in a bit more than usual. That convo spiraled into a huge fight, that has lasted over the course of 3 days now. The final straw was him telling me I'm lazy for not doing other side hustles to make money, that I should have already started the process to switch careers, and also called me a fat ass. I mean, I am fatter than I should be, but name-calling is not okay at all regardless. Anyway, today, I see him making plans on Facebook for that When We Were Young festival. No convo or prior discussion with me about it. I have helped him more times than I can count with money. And on top of that, didn't think to involve me in the conversation that would be leaving me with our 3-month-old baby for him to go across the country? I work. I do 90% of the housework. I take 100% care of the pets. I take his work clothes out every day, his clothes for after his shower. I wake up and make his lunch and coffee. I make sure his family is up to date on all things relating to baby. I plan all our events and dates. I give him as much freedom and time on his gaming computer as he wants, which is from the time he gets home, till he goes to bed. We aren't a team. I've been carrying this relationship. I've bent over backwards, forwards, sideways, etc. through the length of it so far, and for what? And now we have a baby coming. I'm just so torn right now on how to handle all of this. You stop. No more making him dinner, updating his family, pulling out clothes. You stop now and take care of yourself. This seems like more an intimidation tactic. Are you normally the one to come forward after arguments and apologize? If so, don't this time. Sometimes people need to have what's right in front of them rubbed in their face, else they get used to it and think they are obligated to have it. What kind of jerk calls a pregnant woman a fat ass? Find a new teammate. So, you do the things for him that a parent would do for a child. He has tantrums like a child. Will play video games and ignore his responsibilities like a child. Believes it's your job to take care of him like a child. Calls you names like a child. I could go on. It seems you've created a relationship that is held together by you being a doormat. The moment you say, so, maybe please could I be a tiny bit less of a doormat? He flips out, calls you a fat ass, and stomps off. It's not too late to reconsider having this child. And it's definitely not too late to reconsider this relationship. It sucks when you realize you are the only person in a 2-person relationship. Good luck. Work on your finances and prepare to be a single mother. Op tickets for that festival are $225. Kick that motherfucker to the curb. Jesus Christ. I'm furious on your behalf. You sound more than organized enough to parent by yourself, which from the sounds of things you'll be doing even with him under the same roof, the lazy fuck. I'd seriously consider single motherhood if I were you. WHAAAAAAT, as a man we don't claim him. Yeah, you should sit down and talk with him and see if he's really all in to be a dad. If he's not, I would end it. That kid is going to be the most important thing in your life, not him. Plus, no matter what, there's going to be a period of time where you're not going to be able to work, even if it's just a few weeks. Even leading up to giving birth. It's going to be a struggle. I just had my daughter 4 months ago. And the 2 or 3 months leading up to the birth work was miserable for me because I was exhausted and huge. Luckily, when we found out we were expecting, my partner stepped up big time. Being a new parent is hard and you're going to need to make a lot of sacrifices, and he should be doing the same. But it's also very rewarding. Smile. Fiancé, F47, slept with someone else 5 years ago and just told me, M35, now. My fiancé and I have been together for 5 years, engaged for 1 year. 2 days ago, she revealed that she had sex with someone else not long after we had started seeing each other. I've managed to pinpoint exactly when it happened. It was after we had only had 2 dates. However, on the second date she explicitly told me she wasn't sleeping with anybody else, and afterwards she texted me, "I'm all yours." On our third date she asked me hypothetically how I would feel about her sleeping with someone else, and I said it might be okay. She said, "Really?" And I said, "Actually no, I'd feel too jealous." She really should have told me then that it had already happened. Instead, she never slept with anyone else afterwards, but also let me continue on thinking we'd both been monogamous from the start. I've been very open with her about the fact that both of my exes left me for people they'd been seeing behind my back, and that infidelity and dishonesty around it are things I would never forgive. 2 days ago she told me what happened, and I've been a wreck ever since. She said she's always felt guilty about it but was too scared to tell me in case I broke up with her. We're supposed to be getting married later this year, so she wanted to be up front. 2 days ago I thought it was something we could work on and we booked in counseling. Yesterday I felt like I could never forgive her, so I told her we were over and cancelled our wedding venue. She wants to keep working on the relationship if I change my mind, but I'm just overwhelmed and confused. I was up front with her about my need for honesty, and now I know she's someone who could lie to me for 5 years. At the same, I don't want to punish her for telling the truth, as she could have kept on lying after we got married. I don't know what to do. Any help would be appreciated. Too long did not read. Fiancé confessed to me she slept with someone else early on in our relationship. We'd only had 2 dates at the time, but on the second she'd told me she wasn't sleeping with anyone else. She kept this a secret for 5 years. Kind of a tough one, but it just comes down to how you feel about things. I don't think the sex is as much of an issue because you were 2 dates in, it's really just the lying. How do you feel about the rest of the relationship apart from this one issue? Maybe gonna be in the minority here, but it was a lie to someone she barely knew only 2 dates in. Yes, she should have just told you. She a lot of time to tell you. But sometimes sex is just sex. If you hadn't had a conversation about exclusively yet, she wasn't in the wrong. If you have fully trusted her for this long and are considering uprooting the entire relationship over this one thing, seems a bit harsh. You said you were both going to go to therapy, where you could talk it out. She has apologized profusely. She wants to work on your relationship even after you cancelled your wedding venue. To me it seems like she's all in. If she really has been amazing all these years, no other issues, then to be honest I feel like it's you who's having too hard of time accepting her apology. I'd be more bothered by the lie, than the actual act. Omissions of the truth are lies as well. I don't want to punish her for telling the truth. She should not get credit for finally coming clean. She lied to you for years. Okay, she cheated after the second date. This is what I call the get-to-know-you phase, and honestly many people are dating more than one person at this stage, so her sleeping with someone else doesn't surprise me. It sounds like she tried to tell you on the third date because her question was a way of feeling you out first before telling you. Your answer, though true to you, probably stopped her from telling you. At that point you didn't have a strong bond or a definite relationship with each other. Not telling you for 5 years. Definitely not okay. Makes me think she had insecurities in your relationship that she only now felt she could trust you enough to tell you. I completely get your hurt and anger, but I honestly think couples counseling would help the both of you work through this. People here are unbelievable. It's like you guys want people to be unhappy. They were 2 dates in. It's barely a relationship. To throw away a 5-year relationship over this is just crazy. It's basically up to you. Just don't make any radical decisions for now. Take some time for yourself. Clear your head. I can only imagine that it hurts a lot. If you do decide to fix this, going to therapy together might help. Perhaps seeing someone on your own could help. I wish you all the best. I get it. For her it is in the past, 5 years ago. For you it was yesterday. I am normally the one who says, if they act single, you make them single, but if you are honest to yourself, has she been a great girlfriend the last 5 years? Have you ever doubted her? Have you trusted her, and has she been faithful? If you can say yes to those, I would forgive her. After all, it was after 2 dates.